Hey, so just FYI, I'm just above Mosogno. When I last turned off, I had the cheese, and what happened was, I went forward, turned the corner, and just instantly started going downhill, and like steep downhill. We lost a bunch of altitude pretty quickly, which normally, be okay. Actually, there were times when I was having a lot of fun, just sort of, kind of skiing my way down, picking up a little speed and using the sides of the slopes. Luckily, I got good knees. It's my ankles and feet that are just terrible. So my knees, I don't have a problem going downhill. But it definitely got a little hairy. This is not a yellow trail. Never pretended to be, but it is definitely a white, red, white. And needs a little skill and some stamina, because you might do some things. There's a little cut just a little while back, just like this over here. There's a lot of streams moving through. It's a beautiful stream, and it was a cut just like this with big rocks. And I'm following all the markers, but you're climbing over rocks. And sure enough, I got to the water and I looked up and there were no markers around. I'm like, oh my God, I am screwed, because it just dropped off below me, so I couldn't go down any farther. I knew it, had to be a little up. So and across the river, which you could easily get across. So I looked up on my phone the map through Swiss Mobility, and it said that I was on the trail, so I knew I was within 3-4 yards of where I was supposed to be. But getting back up, all these dead leaves here, it's a slope, and the downside was really a big downside. So it got everything slowed down really quickly, and it stayed slow since then. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that. I've run across a couple of structures. That's a stone house. This is a stone building of some sort. There's been some modern repairs, so it's not like these things are from, the 1500s. So that's why I didn't really turn on. But, they're old. And as I'm going through this part, and I do this on a lot of these hikes here in Switzerland, I can't help but to think about, what happens during wartime. I know the Swiss are neutral, but these mountains are crawling with soldiers. You just know it. And, the Swiss, of course, are the strongest per capita army today. Now, it's a per capita basis. The aggregately, it's a pretty small army, but per capita, it's pretty big. And there's always training. The mountains are just littered with the Swiss military industrial complex, whatever that is. So the biggest hospital in Switzerland is not visible. It's in the middle of a mountain. They have an escape plan for the citizens of Switzerland. It's amazing. Everybody gets thyroid pills when they, and I don't know how often that's updated. I talked to Mandy about that. I think actually just like a week ago. And she hadn't been updated in a couple of years. So I asked her to look back into that. But when I see buildings like that, I think, well, was that kind of a World War II, World War I? Does it go back to Napoleon? There have been a lot of direct and indirect military action here. So anyway, I didn't think there was historical relevance to those buildings. They look kind of too new. They definitely had newer repairs to them. God. Everything slows down, right? Everything slows down. Boy, almost falling definitely takes a little bit of the gusto away. The machismo of hiking, whatever that is, confidence of hiking maybe somewhat goes away. Well, I don't know if you learned anything about the hike at this point, but probably learned something about me. Yeah, I'm definitely on the trail, because looking down there, there is nothing but pain. Okay. It's pretty hairy, man. You know, if you keep your wits about you, obviously there's no big deal here, but the stamina comes in, because if you're not lifting your legs high enough, you're going to trip over the rocks and the roots. And I'm a couple hours in this. You know, I got 800, 900 meters, you know, almost 3,000 feet in elevation already. So stamina is a deal. I'm totally comfortable. I have not winded or anything, and I'm not tripping. But you know, you get the end of some of those big hikes and you start tripping on things. Don't do that. Okay, I'm gonna turn off. Oh, look, I'm at level. Oh, check it out. Oh, it's brutal. I gotta go down and then come back up again. Oh man. Okay, that's where I'm going, straight across. Give me one of those cable cars and I'll go. Oh, I also wanted to reference a different hike. Oh, there's another bunch of stones. A bunch of years ago, I went with the Chicago meetup group, the Chicago hiking group, meetup, and shout out to those guys. Haven't been with you guys for a while. You know, I've been doing this stuff, so I got a good excuse. But I went on a trip to the Ozarks, about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of St. Louis. And the Ozarks are, you know, it's a billion-year-old mountain range. It has been eroded and eroded and eroded for a billion years. And you get a lot of this stuff where it's just moraine and dead leaves. We went in October, and the trail, you know, the markers, or the, you know, the beaten down trail aspect had been, a lot of it covered over by newly fallen leaves. Also, a lot of it was just boulder hopping, and that reminds me a lot of this. I mean, look at all these dead leaves now I got to go through. So it just reminds me a lot of this. A lot of leaves, even though it's September 2nd, and a lot of boulders. All right, I'll tune in when I get down.